Okay, so we have a fun topic for tonight. What happens when the ish hits the fan? I'll keep it family friendly. I normally will swear like a sailor, but it's okay. I'll keep it family friendly tonight. So when the ish hits the fan, so just there's just going to be times in our lives when it's difficult to get things done, when it's going to feel like what we've been doing is an added burden. And so we're just going to talk about those things and, how some of the things I think are important. I know Bev will probably have some comments too about things that have helped her through these different seasons, and just really, just kind of giving some tools as you get into it and as you're coming out of it. So that way that, you have something to fall back on. So I made myself I like to take some notes before we start the call. That way I don't totally lose sight of what I'm going to talk about. So if I look down, I'm just looking at my phone. So the first thing I think is really critical, and it's everything, is your mindset. Because when we enter a season of difficult times of, it could be like a time constraint, it could be a mental stress, it really anything, right? It could be an injury, could be a body stress. So however your mindset is around this thing happening and continuing with your habits is really critical during this time. And so the things that I think are most helpful is changing how you look at the things that help you feel good, right? So like we know moving your body every day helps you feel better. It's a mood booster. Moving your body just helps everything in your body work better. We know eating nutritious foods, getting in the macro and micronutrients you need helps you feel better, helps your gut microbiome so that you can make good hormones like serotonin and feel great. So all of those things are super helpful. And sometimes when we get in a stressful situation, we're like, those are extras, right? Those are optional because I'm in a stressful situation. And what I want you to think of this as, those are mandatory. And those are the things that are absolutely going to carry you through the stress and be helpful. And they're your non-negotiables. Now, I'm not saying you have to do a 45-minute workout, right? That may not be in the cards right now, but moving your body each day in some way is going to be helpful. Getting those veggies on the plate. Maybe you didn't plan your meals like you normally were. It's hurried, but doing the best you can, getting those veggies on the plate, having your water, trying to get the best options you can, still non-negotiable. And so that's where, so many times it's like, you're like, I'm stressed, emotional things going on. Yeah, Renee, I know, right? You are like in the middle of it. You're about to enter into, deployment, which is going to be a lot to take on. And I find just the simplest example that comes to mind for me is like, if I get sick, I immediately go to, okay, how can I fuel my body still to help me get over this sickness the fastest? Not necessarily what are the old comfort foods I used to eat, right? That's not going to help my body repair itself. That's not going to help me feel any better. So with these, and especially if you're just getting started on these habits, you want to lean into them. What are the nutritional things that I can enhance so that my body can fight through that? What are the things I can do if my stress levels are high, my cortisol levels are high? Can I get some extra sleep? Can I make sure I'm feeding myself regularly so that you're not, either overeating or undereating? Can I get my body moving, even if it's just for a walk outside? That does wonders for your mindset, to just kind of take that 10-15-minute walk. If it's around the block, if you're in an office building, around the cubicles, right? Somewhere where you can just move and just kind of take in that moment and let yourself just, have it, right? That's your time. So leaning into the group. Oh, sorry. How loud is that for you guys? Is it pretty loud when she does that? Okay, good. It's just loud for me. And neighbor dog comes out. Okay, so leaning into what helps you feel good. And let's see, my other list here. Making sure that you're keeping things non-negotiable. Now, when I say that, let's talk about that for just a second. When I say that, I don't mean like every single thing, right? Like there's going to be some things that fall off. Maybe your tracking falls off. Maybe, you following the workout calendar, maybe you need a different workout during this time, right? So maybe the thing you started isn't working in this moment. And so, maybe for the next few weeks, you go to yoga if you need something different. You go to walking outside. You go to weightlifting because maybe that really helps you just kind of clear your mind and get out some stress. Whatever it is, it's okay to make that switch, right? In this time. And then thinking about things in terms of always coming back to where you were, or even better, right? So it's not that this season is where I'm always going to stay. This is temporary. And so thinking it in terms of it's temporary helps you also kind of be okay with maybe I'm not doing all the things I was doing before this hard time, but I'm still doing so many things for myself and I'm still helping myself through this. And that is the critical part, right? Getting through, and then, as you have less stress, some better situation, you can add in a few more of those habits. You can get closer to resuming where you were. And my guess is if you resume some of those, if you were doing those things all along during this stressful time, you're going to be further ahead, right? You will just be mentally and physically in a better place than had you done nothing. And so your starting point after this difficult season is in a much better place. And that's also a great place to be. I love it. So so you had a pint of unsweetened cashew yogurt. Okay. You know what? But you made some good choices there, right, Renee? You had unsweetened cashew yogurt sweetened with maple syrup. You could have thrown some, Lucky Charms on there or whatever. You chose some maple syrup. Those are still good decisions. And that's the leaning in really can feel like the hard part. And after you do it a couple times, after you're like, okay, instead of, being, sitting here in my stress, and I actually just finished soundtracks today. So overthinking is in my brain, sitting in this overthinking of what I'm supposed to be doing and just doing it, you'll get better at each time. Right. So instead of reaching for, something other than veggies, if you just reach for veggies and just say, this is what I'm going to do. And then the more you do it, the easier it gets, the better it gets. But I'm also saying, in the same sentence, I don't want you to, this is also a great time to give yourself some grace, like to realize this is going to be a big deal, especially for you, Renee. I mean, this is a big thing, and it's okay to like lose it a little sometimes and come back and be like, okay, now I'm going to, you know what, that didn't go well. So I'm going to do this. And to give yourself grace through learning through these things and giving yourself a chance to recover and not spiral, not continue making the decisions that aren't helping you. Okay, let me go back to my list here, make sure I'm hitting all the things. Yeah. Okay. So I just finished talking about the mindset that you'll resume, right? I think it's so important, like, especially with an injury, right? And like injury is a great scenario for this. You have to go in with the mindset as I'm going to take care of my body for recovery, and then I can resume what I was doing and be in a much better place. But if you just give it all up, right? So like, I like to talk to people about focusing on their nutrition during an injury because it's the perfect time. You kind of have this mental energy that you used to put toward workouts. And so now, you do whatever you can, right? Whatever you're allowed to do by your doctor, but also put that planning or put that mental energy into, meal planning, meal prep, figuring out what meal plan works best for you, finding some new recipes. And that way, when you come out of that injury, you're like ready to roll, right? You can get those workouts in, you're dialing in that nutrition where what's working for you. You've helped yourself gain some new habits. And then so one little last piece of advice, and then I want to open it up so we can all talk about it too. But I've heard the saying, and I don't know who gets credit for it, but we've all survived our worst days, right? So if you go into this stressful time, that you have survived all of your worst days, and you can do this one too. You can do this hard season. You can learn from it, gain from it, and come out the other side even better. So I think that's the biggest piece, is not abandoning what you've started where you're at, but really coming into it and with the mindset that this will help me through. But abandoning the habits, then it's like I feel like you add that extra little, I should be doing this. I should be doing that. I should be. And it's such a mental mind fuck, honestly. Sorry, I know I was keeping it family friendly, but it just totally takes down it just beats you down, and that nobody needs that. So wherever it is right now, wherever the ish is hitting the fan, it's finding those things that you can do to help yourself feel the best you can, and know that you'll come out the other side and resume the things that maybe aren't in the cards right now. Okay, so I think I've covered most of it, but what's everybody have to say? Any thoughts? Any things you've done personally that help you in a stressful time?
I do work out, every day, but I do it at my lunch. Like, I can't always work out at home, so I have to do it in the gym at work on my lunch, which I have found helps relieve a lot of stress, especially at work.
Yes. I think when I worked in a corporate setting, I would take a walk at least a couple times a day, and
Yeah.
it helped so much, even if it was through the cubicles, right? Even if you didn't
Yes.
get to get some fresh air, but it just helped so much to just kind of like get out of whatever you were doing and refocus in, or just kind of let some stuff go.
Yeah, just a lot of it's just letting it go. It's not even just to refocus, just to kind of like breathe and not lose it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Lily, are you still in that fancy Rolls Royce?
I wish. No, I'm a drowned rat in a Toyota Sequoia.
Okay. Well, that's all right too. We're just talking right now really quick about I just kind of finished talking about stressful times and things we do to help ourselves in stressful times or periods of time where we're really not able to do the full focus or full, our normal routines.
You mean like my event that I'm on?
Exactly. So what did you do over the last 2 days when you've been just slammed with work? I know you still got your workouts in because those are non-negotiable for you.
Yes, very true. You just have to pick the best food available to you, and just go with the flow and not beat yourself up that you can't stay on plan. We had salad every day, so I tried to fill my plate with lots of salad and not pick the fried chicken that they had, and other things. So they had salmon, and so I tried to stick with things that were healthier in the buffet line that I was able to. So and then at these events, you are expected to drink along with your cohorts, and so you try to pick something that is less calories, and maybe stick to one and then switch to soda water when they're not looking.
Right. Just get something that looks, bubblier.
Yeah,
with a lime
exactly.
in it.
Yes. So yeah, and then stay away from the dessert table. Just don't even either go and pick one thing. It was nice today. They had little tiny desserts, which were very nice instead of half a cake. that you could eat. And so I just chose one of the 3 items, and I was satisfied with that. So it is what it is, and I got plenty of water in, and I got plenty of my workouts in every day. And tomorrow I'll be back to eating my cauliflower rice and all the things.
Exactly. All right. So Renee had a question too about some healthy swaps. So we just made, I don't know how many people made the chocolate and ice cream with the zucchini. So it's literally a packet of Shakeology, zucchini, almond milk, and some cocoa powder and vanilla. So there's lots of things like that on the website, either with a protein powder or like Recover or with Shakeology, where you can make these pretty simple desserts and they taste great. Like one of my favorites is one that Jennifer Jacobs made with the half banana, or was it that was a whole banana and a scoop of Recover. And hers turned out like a pudding. Mine turned out like little dough balls because I used the vegan. So it was a little more powder, but like super good.
Perfect. And then you put sun butter or peanut butter on top too.
Yeah. So you could, because she has 2 versions, right? Because there was that one that she made like more like a cookie with peanut butter, and then this one. And that actually is the perfect thing to have after a strength workout, because you're getting your protein and you're getting your fruit, which helps with all of, everything your muscles need to replenish immediately. So, but you're having dessert, right? So it's a really nice swap to do those things. And you can freeze, like with yogurts, there's lots and lots of Wonder Whips that are on the To Be Mindset stuff. So those are yogurts that use maybe a flavored stevia or some extracts, a little bit of chocolate or fruit here and there, depending on what flavor they're doing. But those are also really good options. And then, if I love maple syrup, so I'm not going to get on you about that, because I think it's like, that's my fave. And so you could also just use a little less, but plus an extract, right? So then it's got a little more full flavor. But there's lots of great, I would check out it in our group. I'm trying to think of what's the best place for you to go find this. In the nutrition chat, if you go into up in the top where the title is, if you click that, it's going to show you links, media, things like that. If you go into the link section, all of our meal prep class links are there. All of the links we've done for like Instagram desserts that like Jennifer Jacobs does, or other things. So there's going to be a ton of stuff in there that are really great, quick desserts and just, yummy swaps.
Well, veggies that if she's looking specifically for veggies that she could have in a higher volume and not feel guilty, would be rice cauliflower and jicama. Those are 2 biggies that and they will also take up more space, I would think. Well, the jicama is going to take up more space, and the way that you had it, Deanna, which I still haven't tried it because I keep forgetting, but jicama, it's light. And don't get me wrong, there are different ways that it can be good. Like the jicama itself, you have to get it so that it is good itself, because often they sell them and they're moldy and sunken in, and it's just disgusting. And I can't believe that they still have them sitting out on the shelves. But they're sweet and crisp and extremely fibrous, and a lot of liquid. So when you're looking at them, they look like a turnip almost. And jicama, it's a J, so Jicama. And I don't know whereabouts you live in the country, but for us here, they're normally in the produce section near like the potatoes, the onions, sometimes the avocado area, like somewhere in around there, because they are a Mexican vegetable. They're usually from Mexico. Okay, yeah, Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Yeah. So I mean, I I see more of them in grocery stores that have a higher Mexican population, like more Mexicans shop in that area. So it just depends. You might have to go to a couple places to find it. I'm sure if you have a Whole Foods, they'll have it. Uh, Trader Joe's does carry them already cut up into sticks. But so Deanna's had them where it was soaked in lime juice with a little, what was it, smoked paprika?
Well, yeah, so I'm pretty sure they were soaked with lime juice and salt because it was a nice saltiness to it. And then they did like a chili powder on it with cilantro, and then we just snack it. In fact, I'm going there on Saturday night. We're totally getting the jicama again. It's like delicious.
That sounds amazing. But I mean, my son actually eats jicama sticks like every single day, just plain. Like as long as the jicama is good and tasty, he'll polish it off. So there's that. And then riced cauliflower. You eat it raw. Yes.
Well, some people don't make jicama fries now too. I have not tried it. But jicama fries is one of the things listed in To Be Mindset, and jicama hash browns. I have not tried either. To me, I like it. Like to me, it's like a great summer veggie. And I would like when we were doing gut protocol last summer, I was putting it in all my salads and things like that. Because it's just so fresh and it's a really wonderful, I don't know, it's a great little crunch, but kind of tastes like whatever you put on it.
What do you do? Shred it on, like if you're going to have it?
I guess you'd probably take a bigger grater like you would just a potato, right? And then you'd do that for the hash browns. But I'm pretty let me see if it's on Body, but I'm pretty sure there was a hash brown thing for it.
Yeah, I mean, when I was putting it in salads, because it's in the Ultimate Reset in the salad, that's how we got first introduced to it, was the Ultimate Reset, because the microgreen salad recommended having jicama in it, and it added that crunch instead of a crouton. And I don't know, I prefer it over a crouton, to be quite honest, but I am gluten-free anyway. But I mean, I like what it adds, because it's more than just a crunch. It also can add like that sweetness to it and such.
Yeah. And so this is actually a Fixate recipe.
No.
Jicama hash browns.
Nice.
And it just says you peel it and grate it. I think I would do a large grater hole, you know what I mean? So that it's got a little texture to it. Otherwise it may just end up kind of mushy.
Yeah.
Narrow.
Yeah. But it's really tasty. But I could see it turned into fries. I mean, because we will make rutabaga into fries. I think we've tried turnips into fries.
That's a good one too. Like I've done, turnips and rutabaga, and then instead of having like chili cheese fries, I just do the rutabaga or the turnip and put my easy turkey chili on those veggies. And then you could put nutritional yeast on if you're dairy free, or cheese if you got a blue left, and boom, you've got chili cheese fries and totally on plan.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot
totally healthy
options.
I like to get creative with my food, right? Like I don't know, you can take just about anything and make it a little bit better.
That's the mindset. When I think of chili fries, I think of French fries and chilies and cheese, and I don't think of turnips and.
But I like rutabagas. I think I like over turnips, but they're both really good. I was really impressed, and in fact, I made them at my parents' house, and my dad is a potato guy, right? And they thought these rutabaga fries were amazing.
So, we love rutabaga fries here, just with a little olive oil, lemon juice, salt and pepper, and then we just stick them in the oven. Takes about 30 minutes at, I want to say like 425 degrees, maybe 450.
Yeah, that sounds right. And if you have an air fryer, perfect place for those.
Okay. Yeah. This is going to maybe a good question, but what's a rutabaga?
So it's a root vegetable. It generally has it's a little more cream colored. It's not as white as a potato or a turnip.
It sometimes has reddish, pinkish purple on it.
If you, so in our grocery section, we've got like the turnips, the and the rutabagas and the parsnips all end up to get like right next to each other. So if you know, look for that section, and there'll be a little
I've probably
sign on
seen
it.
it at times, just didn't realize what they were.
Yeah, and you treat it like a potato. I'll just cube them and roast them. I'll French fry them and roast them. You know, however it works.
Yeah. Yeah, they're really good. They're really good.
I do peel them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
I don't know. I think they wax them most of the
Yes,
time.
they do.
So
Yes. There's like a thick wax on them. So you don't, yeah, you would definitely want to peel them.
same with turnips too. Parsnips I do peel, but I don't think those are waxed. And a parsnip, like to me, tastes a little like a carrot. So like I'll put them with carrots or you know, I don't know. You just kind of play around with it. Like we'll make even like a poutine, which is you know, traditionally French fries, a brown gravy, cheese curds. So we'll do it with roasted root vegetables. We'll braise a pork shoulder, put that on there, make some gravy from the braised pork shoulder, and then we usually just skip the cheese, and we just kind of, so it's like you have this kind of awesome gravy potato thing happening, but it's all veggies.
Wow.
Yeah. So my big thing is figuring out ways to make foods food sensitivity friendly. Are root veggies a yellow or a green container? Well, I think it depends on the plan that you're looking at. Like it depends. Yeah. Green for the most part. Yeah. That's what I was going to say.
I think the only things that cross over are squash. Squash is different depending on what plan you're on.
Right. Yeah. Which I'm a big squash eater, so that's why I'm like, well, it depends. Like, I eat a lot.
Yeah, don't even get Bev started on the different types of squash. We'll be here all night. That's another call. It's another call.
Yeah. Well, and we're coming into a different season right now. I'm big on the fall squashes. But yeah, so I'm big on creating things that are food sensitivity friendly and also at the same time don't trigger inflammation. So that's my big thing. Like how Deanna was talking about supporting herself, like if she starts to feel sick or anything like that, like it used to be where, yes, I would lean into a comfort food. Now I literally will go, I don't really care what I'm craving. I need to figure out what can I give myself, my body, that it could utilize to help heal faster. Because I mean, we just don't have time to be sick. So, and even when it looks like, for me, like I just went through a whole weird thing that I actually, more people deal with it than what I realized, but chronic hives where you like, if you would get like hives on your body from being allergic to something or something like that, they were everywhere and they stayed with me for 4 months solid. Like I was never without hives on my body at some point. And so that looked like me having to do things completely different, not just nutritionally, but physically and mentally and my sleep. Like I had to transition everything. And I didn't want to do any of it, but it was okay. I either do this or I continue to be in a bad way. And it was, so I did the things like Deanna said, like I shifted my workouts, even though I didn't want to. I wanted to be doing Sure Thing with everybody else because that was what I had planned on doing. But instead, my body said, you're not going to do that. And so it looked like me having to do flexibility. And I got tired of doing flexibility. And if it wasn't for the virtual gym and being able to just go in there and see everybody else doing everything, it was like that got me to actually do the workouts that I didn't want to do, but I knew that I needed to remain consistent in the action for my mental state and for my body physically, because it was helping my body to at least be moving and getting my body moving and such. So, but yeah, so it's just really about remaining in the routine as much as you possibly can at whatever that looks like for you right in the moment. And so whatever that looks like what is your non-negotiable? Like, is it 10 minutes of movement a day? Well, then that's perfect. And there's nothing wrong with that. And, like, that's really awesome that you just ate the yogurt, because yeah, I would have been piling on all sorts of other things if I was thinking about like, okay, I'm going to be bad, but it's that was a
Your
really,
bad
really good
changes,
point.
right? Your
Yeah.
bad changes.
Yeah.
Right? You're like
Right.
flying off the handle is a lot
Right.
different now than it was 5 and 10 years ago. And that's
Right.
the difference, right? I mean, because I think about like, oh, I'm getting crazy in here. I'm going to have the whole bottle of kombucha, right?
Yeah.
I'm not, I mean, that's
Right.
what's so funny right now. I just laugh at myself. I'm like, oh, good gravy. Like that, it's fine. We're doing okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's really not bad. It's just what it is at that moment. And it's like taking away that stigma too, because there's nothing wrong with it. I
Yeah.
mean, it's and you just notice like, how does it make you feel? Like, okay, do I feel bad after doing that? Okay, well, maybe I shouldn't do that again.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
you know what? I enjoyed it when I did it. So that's what counted.
Yeah.
And now we're just going to move on.
And it makes me think too, like if you like Renee, you're a great example of this, right? Like you're going into a stressful time. So it may not be the best time to add other stresses by setting a goal that is going to be really hard, right? Maybe, you know what I mean? So if you're going in and you're like, I'm going to lose 100 pounds in 20 days. Well, that's not going to really, it's not doable, but it's also not going to be really helpful if you're having a hard time even getting your veggies in or getting a workout in or living how you normally live. So in that mindset piece, it's being okay with I don't want to say lowering your expectations, but having an expectation of yourself that fits the situation and that still keeps you going, still helps you, because you're going to have a big transition over the next few weeks. And you're probably going to come into a part where you get your routine and then you're like, okay, I can set my goal a little higher. I can change, I can go for this now because I feel ready. And that's all okay. It, going into it thinking I have to do this, this, and this by this time is probably going to just make people feel worse, right? And like it's unattainable and that you're setting yourself up for failure. But if you're like, okay, I can get some good meals in, I'm going to practice my meal planning during this time. Nobody's going to do it perfect, but you can practice. And I think if you also go in with that mentality of I'm going to practice this, I'm going to work on this habit, I'm going to see what lines up with me, when it's best for me to do, what day works the best, when should I go shopping, and just try out some things. You're like a giant experiment. And then you see, and then and then you can build on it. You can, improve it as you go. But I think that's the other piece where people just really set themselves up to like feel bad about how they're doing because they've set themselves up in an expectation that's just too big for the moment.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right. And sometimes that expectation, it literally has to change on a dime. I mean, that's literally what happened to me. It was like, okay, I'm going to see what I can do. I can see how much, muscle I can put on and all this and that. And then it was like, nope, that's not what you're going to do at all. You're going to slow your butt down and you're going to figure out how to just maintain and make it through and just carry on and not, like kill one of your family members because you're dealing with, itching all the time. So you're mentally in a whole different place. And it's the same thing, like, if a mom has to deal with like, young kids, all the time without a break. I mean, same type of stress level that like, yeah, you can't have the expectations of like, well, you can, but it's not gonna aid in your mental capacity. It's not going to aid in your mental and emotional state
Right.
to stress over needing to be perfect.
I wish I had known that when I was home with 2 children and just feeling like I was never doing enough or fitting whatever profile I should have been in. My kids were well fed. They got to play. We all did stuff together. The house was a disaster and it was fine. Everybody made it through.
Right. Right.
I mean, it's like I look back now and I'm like, oh, I wish I like look back and think I wish I'd have enjoyed some of those moments a little more with them instead of being so like stressed and feisty about whatever they were doing.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I feel fortunate that I appreciate it in their teens and we have a really great time together now, but I wish I had learned it a little sooner.
Right.
But giving myself grace that I didn't, I know now.
Right. Right.
Oh, see, there's a good puppy, Joy.
Oh,
Came in and sat right down.
he's being good now.
Yeah. Love it. All right. Well, let's see. Let me just check my notes one last time. Make sure I think the only thing I didn't really hone in on is that I also think like whatever your situation, maybe picking one thing to focus in on that you want to really be like, this is going to be my non-negotiable, because it may be a situation where 2 and 3 and 4 things are too many, right? So picking one thing that helps you feel really good, helps you feel accomplished, helps you feel like, that helps your stress, helps your, feel human, whatever it is, right? Whatever's going on. And really, make that one thing happen every day. Making sure that is just absolutely like that time is, hit my head. That time is done so that it's, yours.
And when you do those things, think about how it makes you feel. Like actually, it's so hard to be present in the moment because we're always I loved this quote where we're always either replaying the past or rehearsing our future instead of being present in the moment. And it is so important when we're doing those actions to support us to notice how it's making us feel. Because that is when you're not necessarily reaching the goal that you set, that you can like really lean onto how it made you feel to take those actions. And the way you're feeling is what's going to keep you coming back and continuing to move forward. And eventually that will become so innate that it'll be easy for you to stack something else onto like that one thing that you're already remaining consistent in.
Absolutely. Yep. Yep. And lean into the groups, the community, the chats, I so appreciate when someone steps out a little bit and says, hey, how do I deal with this? Or who's working out or what's going on? Right. Because we have all been there. And that's why we continue to have these things in the chats, because we know how much they have meant in our own health and wellness, that it, just leaning in a little bit more, even if it's just reading through things, maybe, you're shy and you don't necessarily want to say something, but just staying in the group, right? Reading through the things, getting done what you can get done. And, it helps so, so much. Okay. So Renee, you said I've been enjoying walking around the neighborhood each morning and night, but not sure how to do that if it's raining or icky outside. Well, in Oregon, we still walk in the rain.
We don't have a choice.
We'd never get outside. But I don't know, I mean, there might be like my dad and stepmother, they go to the mall and walk the mall at in the off times. So like in the morning, you and the silver sneakers can, be walking the mall if it's bad out, or if you have somewhere that's kind of covered. I don't know, like our tracks actually aren't covered, but some places
Mhm.
have like high schools and colleges have like a covered track or something that you could walk around. Yeah, it'd be good maybe if there's some moms in the area because they might know too, like some places that are good to just kind of get some stuff out,
Mhm.
get some energy out.
Yeah, I mean, like the YMCA has one, but then you have to have a membership at the YMCA.
Right.
But yeah. Yeah, because we don't really have anywhere around me at all. Like, and we don't, our closest mall is like 50 minutes from us. So, yeah, that's when I don't know. When I was walking very regularly, yeah, about the only thing that would stop me is maybe rain. Um, Otherwise I would try to just still go and just get it going, get it done. But
So, any other questions on anything or anything else you want to add to the, when the ish hits the fan section?
you may end up picking up things that you didn't do previously that didn't work for you previously. Like try them again and
Oh,
give
yeah.
them like good, like not just try, but like actually, I don't know. I don't like it when I say I don't personally when I'm wanting to implement something, I do my best to not use the word try because it's like if somebody says I'll try to be there, well, they're already not going to be there because they're
Right.
already giving their brain a way to get out. So it's like, yeah, you're not. So just don't act like you are.
Yeah.
But so that's how I also treat it for myself. So if I want to begin to meditate, like even for 5 minutes, I will say, I am going to work on meditating 5 minutes a day. And then I will do my best to sit down with the app and do that. I found when the 21-day thing, the 21, it's unstress. When
Unstressed. Yeah.
out, I was able to focus on doing unstress 3 rounds in a row.
Yeah.
But then after that, it's been like, like it's, but it was the season that I was in, I was able to really implement it.
Yeah.
And so, and it's the same thing like with maybe, if you do have an injury or you need to just dial things back because you didn't get very much sleep, to just do a flexibility.
Yeah.
And it may not be what you want to do, but just be like, but I'm still moving for 15 minutes or 20 minutes.
You're still
still
in the habit. Yeah, that is the critical part, right? You still got the clothes on to do the thing and you did the thing. So you're still
right.
keeping the habit.
Right. And that's super, super important and helpful. So that would be another thing. Like if you can't walk, that would be something you could try.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And I would say like the gamification stuff now on our body programs really helps kind of tick things off, right? So like if the unstressed program, it's fun to see, okay, I've done this many, or I'm gonna get a badge when I finish it. And those things are fun. So, lean into that. If you like getting the badges or you like that little note that pops up that says you did it, totally cool. That's why we're doing it, right? It's taking the tools of whatever works for you and your mindset and really just using them and use them in all areas if you can. Like I know right now you can get a badge just for watching the Portion Fix and the To Be Mindset videos. So even if you've already watched them, they've changed them a little bit and you can go through there, watch them again. You might get a nugget out of it that maybe you missed the first time, or it might reignite your excitement for something, and use those kinds of tools too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So any other questions outside of our topic for tonight? We magically have a meal prep class coming in like 10 days right now. So
Wow.
like it's kind of funny how we we went, or maybe it's a little bit more than that.
What
But
day
anyway,
is
coming up quickly. It's going to be May 7th. And I
7th?
already have the menu because I had when I was looking through the April stuff, I found some things. It is going to be a Cinco de Mayo theme, even though Cinco de Mayo will be 2 days ago. But I have to let me pull it up here really quick because I think these are going to be so delicious. There's a Cinco de Mayo smoothie bowl.
Oh.
There's going to be a Baja style cauliflower ceviche tostada. And then a chicken mole.
Ooh,
Nice.
I've seen that one.
Have
Sounds
you?
yummy.
I've
I
seen
know.
it. Mm-hmm.
The cauliflower ceviche tostadas look delicious. Like I'm really excited about it. I think they're gonna be really good.
Mm.
So that's coming May 7th. I do not know what tomorrow's theme is for Funky Friday. Anybody?
Okay, outside picture.
Oh, outside
Is
picture.
it? Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Get outside.
Nice.
Yes.
Hopefully it's nice.
It's not supposed to be raining here. This should be the last of the rain for a little bit.
It rained here just this evening, so I think it got colder. It was all nice and warmer.
And then let's see, do we have anything else? Oh, we are discussing if you are in the book club and you haven't voted yet, go vote if you'd like to do another book club. And then we can start talking about different books and things like that. But I have a poll up there if you want to say whether or not you want to do another one.
No.
All right. I think that's it. So I'll hit the recording and then we'll get a picture.